What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of HRT After Dark. Yeah! Today, we are going to be reacting to some Blair White YouTube shorts. I know, I'm sorry. I don't necessarily want to do this. I feel like I've talked about her a lot on the podcast, and I haven't actually reacted to anything that she's said in her daily stupid fucking videos that she does. Some of her opinions I don't disagree with. A lot of the times it's how she goes about talking about her fellow trans people, even when she disagrees, even when she agrees. She's just never nice. And I think that the shorts that I picked out today definitely let us see that. So let's just get right into it. I'll hold you, you hold me.
I'm a non-binary middle school special education teacher. Only my two paraprofessionals know that I'm non-binary because that's not a conversation I want to have with.
Because they couldn't tell by looking at you? You are non-binary TM. Baby girl, baby boy, baby they. You are what they would put in the dictionary as non-binary. I cannot believe you're working with special needs children. I mean, that's just straight abuse. As if infiltrating the regular classrooms like y'all do and psyoping these babies wasn't your big one. You gotta go into the special needs class.
One of my students said that I was a beautiful king the other day, and that was just so affirming. It gave me the gender euphoria.
Do you see why I don't, even when I'm joking, I'm not running my mouth? I asked, did it make you wet? And here she is, the second we hit play. It gave me that euphoria. Why does it look like you got wet? What is that face? Leave the special needs babies alone. Do they not have enough problems? You just wanted to step in that door and say, hey.
Oh my God. Oh my God. As if non-binary people can't be in front of children or help children what? For somebody who is trans to go along with the narrative that trans people are groomers or files is the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And the way you're misgendering this person just to get a laugh out of it, you could have just said baby they. You didn't have to go baby girl, baby boy in front of that. You could have just said baby they, because that's funny. The way this person is just excited that a kid saw them as the gender or not the gender that they prefer to be seen as. It's just showing trans joy. That is all it is. And you are feeding into the narrative that Republican cis people use to try and take everything away from us. I don't know. That was just too far. The whole, did it make you wet? That's too far. Because then you're bringing people's genitals and shit into it, which is weird. You are weird for saying that shit. You're odd. Why are you, Blair, why are you thinking about this person getting wet? What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you good? Do you get off on this shit? What is your issue? I'm going to say it again. For a trans person to call another trans person or set the narrative that trans people are files or child groomers just for saying, hey, it made me happy that my kids at work refer to me as the correct pronouns or some shit. You're gross. Sorry, bye. Next.
I'm a doctor, and apparently the state of Texas needs to reconsider what it considers child abuse. Over 80% of trans youth have admitted to having thoughts about unaliving themselves, and over 50% have actually attempted it.
I've actually never had one until now. Talking about we need to reestablish what we think of as abuse, we need to reestablish what we think of as doctors, because if I walked in, I'm talking a sprained ankle, I would run to the hills. And yet she's cutting kids' dicks off. Y'all are trusting rainbow hair with your child's genitals and letting her gaslight you into thinking it's abusive not to remove them. I'm not saying that every doctor should be in impeccable shape, right? There's also levels to it, right? She shouldn't also be decrepit like this. And if she didn't have that color in her hair, and if it was just that one tone gray, which you know it is underneath, this would be a corpse telling you to abuse your children, otherwise known as a straight demon, because a corpse shouldn't speak.
Where on God's green fucking earth did this person, this nurse, this doctor say that they were cutting children's off? Where? Tell me fucking where. Because all they fucking said was that trans people are likely to kill themselves if they don't get gender affirming care. That is it. That is it. This is what Blair does. She takes anybody who says that children deserve some sort of gender affirming care and spins it into, oh, you wanna mutilate 12-year-olds? You wanna cut 12-year-olds? No, bestie, no. Most of us trans people who think that children deserve some sort of gender affirming care, most of us just think that around 16, 17 years old, maybe puberty blockers, maybe starting hormones, maybe top surgery. But you spin this shit in a way where you make our entire community look like idiots. Like, it's not us, it is you who's making us look like shit. Oh, and then you choose to go for their looks again, calling this person old and decrepit and making fun of their hair. Like, what is wrong? Like, do you have anything better to do? I don't know how you go to sleep at night, bestie. I don't know how you do it, knowing that you are spreading this much hate into the world. Okay, this one was wild. This one was fucking wild.
You told me you were trans. How often have you said that to someone and then they're not into it?
I usually wait until after the first date, but previously I lived stealth, where it's like I would live as a cis woman. And I've had guys like eat me out and like have sex with me for like 2 months, and then I'm like, shit, I need to tell them because they're catching feelings. And they'd be like pissed off, like, wait, am I gay? And I'm like, you've been eating me out for 2 months and had no idea. You're not gay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there really quick because it's kind of funny. As a trans person, I would not do something along the lines of what this woman has done to cis men that she dates. Do I also think it's ridiculous that the men she dated that she didn't tell she was trans to, do I think it's ridiculous that they thought they were gay afterwards? I do, because you're not gay, because she's a woman, and you didn't realize, clearly, that she was trans. So I don't know what the fuck your issue is. Do I think she was right for not telling you? No, I don't think she's right for that. But you're still an idiot for thinking you're gay. Let's see what Blair has to say about it.
You're nasty. I am so sick of people putting this emphasis in the trans community about like stealth and hooking up with guys and not telling them, you do this, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And even if you don't actually die, you might as well treat it as something that will lead to you dying. Trans women who get murdered, the media will have you believe that it's a bunch of KKK motherfuckers walking around and that's who's really offing the girls, right? No, the girls are getting offed by men that they are having sex with and letting him eat me out for 2 months. And then
I want that to sink in, what the fuck she just said. I want it to sink the fuck in. Because she just said that it's the trans women's fault for being murdered. That's what she just said. Like, this is why people are afraid to say that they're trans, because people get murdered for it. Again, do I think it's wrong to wait that long or have sex with somebody who doesn't know you're trans? I do. I do think that's wrong. Either way, murdering somebody, sexually assaulting somebody, abusing somebody, not excusable, and not the trans woman's fault for not saying anything. Like, hello? Hello?
And they find out and they snap, crackle, and pop on your ass. Snap, crackle, and pop on your ass.
She makes a joke out of it too. Like, it's funny that people just like her all over the world are getting murdered. And she thinks it's their fault because they don't always say that they are trans on the first date. Where, like, most people are. Most trans women, most trans men are saying that they are trans on the first date. Sure, you have your couple trans people out of millions that don't. And for you to blame them for all the trans women that are getting murdered in the world is beyond me. It's disgusting. That is not the reason why trans women are getting murdered.
Be real. I consider trans women to be a category of men, not a category of women. That is my opinion.
And there it is. I'm glad I saved that one for last because hello? Hello? Are we joking? I don't know how this girl has made it so far calling herself trans. How are you trans then? How are you trans if you consider yourself a variation of a man? A binary trans woman or a binary trans man sees themselves as a man or sees themselves as a woman. You are one of the only trans women I have ever seen that doesn't see herself as a woman. So what the fuck are you doing? You get up online and you talk shit about all these other trans people and all their confusing pronouns and how it doesn't make sense. Well, make that make sense. Make that make sense. How are you walking around calling yourself a woman, telling people to use she, her pronouns for you, and then say, oh, but I'm a man, actually. So, like, talk about confusing, bestie. Talk about confusing. I got angry this episode because this woman should I even say woman? I don't know. You might be a man. I don't know. Genuinely. As I said, there's many things that Blair thinks that I agree with. I think her main thing is giving gender affirming care to children. Do I think we should be giving, do I think we should be performing these surgeries, bottom surgery and shit on 12-year-olds? No, I don't. I would bet you that at least 85% of trans people all over the world agree with me on that. I think in the Jubilee video, Sasha had a good way of saying, no, it's more like 16, 17 years old. If a 16, 17-year-old wants top surgery and has shown from the age of like 12 that they will not regret that later in life, then yeah, because a year doesn't make a difference. Starting hormones at the age of 17, because a year doesn't make a difference, because when you're sure about this shit, you are sure of it. Nobody's fucking talking about 12-year-olds. So like, I agree with her on a lot of things, and I think a lot of people do, but it's the way she goes about coming at her own community that pisses people off. There are a lot of things that she says that I do not agree with. I want to make that very clear. But she takes these very basic opinions that most of us share and turns it into something manipulative and makes us look like we're all pedophiles. And that is the most harmful fucking thing you could do to the trans community right now, because that is what the entire right side thinks of us, and that is why they are trying to take our rights away. So for you as a trans person to help them do that to us, to you, is ridiculous. And it's mean and it's disgusting. I think you are a disgusting person. No trans people can get their hormones. No trans people can get surgeries. No trans people are allowed to use the bathroom, except for Blair White. Except for Miss Blair. Anyways, thank you for sticking it through with me this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it probably made you angry as well, so I'm sorry, but I like to bring this shit up and I like to talk about it because she is clearly doing a lot of damage to us. So anything I can do, get the word out there that she's a fucking moron, I will. On Wednesdays, I live stream. I play video games with my friends. We've been playing a lot of the Outlast Trials horror game, and it's been really fun. Those live streams are still on my channel. If you want to check them out, I would appreciate it. HRT After Dark drops every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And come check out the podcast if you haven't already. If you haven't seen my podcast, definitely give it a look-see. Give it a look-see. I will see y'all next week. I love you so much. Peace out.